Hi, guys. Welcome. We are talking about the three types of people that drain your energy. Any energy vampires. Sorry, guys. My curtain situation is not very good here. It's sort of falling all over the place. I'm still trying to figure out where I want to film these YouTubes, but boy, that is a disaster. Um, that's a real disaster, but I like the light coming through. So, yeah, we're talking about the type of people that drain your energy. And this definitely pertains to in relationships and dating. There are just certain people that you want to avoid because or if you choose to do relationship with them, just understand that you better have some really good skills to do relationship with them. Sorry, I'm laughing because this curtain situation I find just so comical. Super funny. So I think it's really early for you guys in the States. It's 6 p.m. here in France. Um, but I know it's really early for you guys in the States. So thank you guys for coming and being here. Also, if you are new here, one thing that I've been sharing with you guys is that you can get my free connection meditation, um, especially if you're struggling with draining people and you're like, I don't know how to navigate this one, Erica. I feel a bit stuck. I feel a bit challenged. Um, really get that connection meditation because people who drain you essentially they take you from yourself. They pull you from your own resources, which is like your own energy, your own physical and emotional and spiritual well-being. I'm just going to lean into this thing. Might as well just embrace it. Um, and so when we're around draining people, they essentially pull us from ourselves. And so in that regard, we have to come back to ourselves. And to come back to ourselves, we meditate. That's how we come back to our center. That's how we come back to our core. It's how we come back to our life force is through getting at peace within ourselves. And so when we're with draining people, there is no peace. They rob us of our peace. Lucas says, "Hello, sporty girl. Why am I a sporty girl?" Like, oh, there's something on my top. I think it's dry shampoo. Hi, William. Good morning. So it's evening for me, but it's morning for you guys if you're in the States. Lucas, I don't think you're in the States. I think you're in Europe as well. So who are the draining energy? The third one that I'm going to share with you, the very last one, I want you to stay to the very end because the very last one I'm going to share with you, I think that a lot of people fall into this trap of this particular type of draining person. And with that kind of person, a lot of people fall into a cycle with this particular type of person that I'm going to share very last. Also, guys, thank you so much for you who have been sending your super chats and super stickers. I think it's really sweet of you guys to do that. So thank you. So here's the first person that is super draining of your energy. And that is, I'm going to put these two together because these two kind of share similar traits. But that is the narcissist and the selfish person. Here's the thing when you're trying to date someone who's a narcissist, which why would you? Really, just why? When you're trying to date someone who's a narcissist or someone who is a very selfish person, they're very self centered. The thing is, we get into relationship with people so that we have both giving and receiving. I always say that, and someone says there's a line in a movie that says this, maybe not exactly, but I always see love as like this circle. And I'm constantly running my relationships through this circle. And that is, am I able to give this person love? Like, do they have the capacity to receive the love that I'm giving? That's one of the first things I look at. And the second one is, am I able to receive love from them? Do they give me love? Do I feel like I feel safe in receiving their love? Or does their love come with red flags? The problem with a draining person like a narcissist or someone who is selfish is typically they're not going to give to you, especially a selfish person. The narcissist will give to you, but it comes with conditions. It comes with them manipulating you to you feeling vulnerable to them and susceptible to needing them for them to then manipulate, control, dictate, dominate your life, play games with your life. So I would say that those two, those two people actually kind of go together, the narcissist and the selfish person. And so here's the thing about draining people that we forget is that when we're not being conscious in our relationships, we're just going with life. We're dating someone, we're pursuing someone. Most of the time, as human beings, we don't stop and take inventory of how the relationship is going, where the relationship is going. Are we feeling fulfilled? Do we feel peaceful? Do we benefit from the relationship? Do we feel like we can fully show up in the relationship? And oftentimes we either get too caught up in the busyness of life, the minutia of life, or oftentimes when you're first dating someone, you're so caught up with like how good looking they are, how wonderful you feel with the idea of entertaining relationship with them. Or if you're in a relationship, you just get boggled down by the demands and the pull of life. But when we don't take inventory, what happens is if that person is a narcissist, if they are selfish, what happens is we have this reservoir of energy. And if we're not conscious, if we're not taking inventory of what's going on with that energy, then that person can just pull and suck us dry. And then we wonder, why am I frustrated? Why am I physically tired? Why can't I sleep at night? Why don't I feel like I have peace in my heart? Why am I agitated? And what you don't realize is that this person is sucking you dry. They're an energy vampire and they're draining your energy. And so when you're dating, when you're in a relationship, it's super important that you be responsible for yourself and you do some inventory of what is going on in that relationship. Here's the other thing. This is one thing that I've been growing with. Over the past year, I've been doing inventory of relationships that I currently have. And sometimes, as you're growing in life and you're going in different directions, sometimes the people that were great for you in the beginning, as you grow, you realize that these people cannot come with you where you're going, that they're still doing the same damn things that they were doing when you guys first met, and they haven't grown up, they haven't changed. And so a lot of times in our relationships with people that we've been friends with for years, we don't just do inventory of those relationships. We go, well, they've always been a part of my life. Yes, but are they sucking you dry, or are they adding back to your life? How do you feel when you're with them? Do you feel energized? Do you feel championed? Do you feel loved? Or do you feel drained? Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel a lack of peace? And we have to sit with ourselves and go, how am I feeling in my relationship? Because most of the time, when we're not conscious, we have people who are draining our reserves. And really, we need to be surrounding ourselves with people where we can give love to and we can also receive love from. And if it's not going both ways, you either need to have a conversation with that person and you guys need to get on the same page, or you need to take a break from that person, be like, we're just in different places in our lives. We need to go our separate ways. And some people you just need to sever ties with and just be like, you know what? I'm good. You do you. I'm going to do me, but this is draining me. This is not adding value to my life. And our relationships really should bring value. I know that people go through hard times and they go through challenges, and I'm not saying that when someone's going through a hard time that they are not adding value, so get rid of them. I'm not saying that, but you need to have people in your life that are supplying energy back to you, not just taking energy from you. So I just want to read some of your comments. So that's particularly talking about selfish people, narcissistic people is the premise of the first person that really drains your energy. Ninja Wolf, I haven't seen you in a while, darling. I'm so glad you're here. He says, "Hey, Erica, how are you, Sugar Doll? I am doing really good. Thank you for being here. I missed your presence on my last live, so I'm just very grateful to have you back." William Aikman says, "Unfortunately, I am in the Midwest. However, my mindset is not stagnant. Once I realized that I was in a relationship with a narcissist and got my power back, I left and healed. The key is awareness." I am so glad that you said that. And kudos to you for navigating out of that, for realizing what kind of situation you got yourself in and realizing that you needed to move yourself out of it. So I'm very glad. I'm very curious, William, how you got your power back. That is a very interesting question. But I love what you said here, that the key is awareness. I think that is my heart posture and sharing these kind of videos with you guys is and you women is that when we have understanding, when we have knowledge, when someone opens up our eyes and goes, "Hey, you might be in this scenario." It's from there, when we have that sense of awareness, as William is saying, that we can then begin to make choices out of that. But when we're just going through life blind and we don't see that potentially we're with a narcissist, that potentially we have relationships in our life that are draining our energy, and we're not stopping and taking inventory of that, then we get ourselves in real trouble. So, my heart and the reason why I do these videos is to help create awareness, give you guys some tools, champion you, remind you who you are, remind you that you're powerful, remind you that you're courageous, to remind you of who you are on the inside so that you feel empowered to create a healthy relationship, live a fulfilling life. Be the leader that you are. Create the relationship, the intimacy, the connection that you're dying for, that you're waiting for, that to really position you guys to be able to go out there and create and get the life that you really desire. That's why I do these videos. So I love when people say that, they got awareness like William, and he was able to make decisions. He was able to move out of that situation. Ninja Wolf, I have definitely missed you. Matt C says, "Hi, Erica. How are you?" I'm really good. I'm really good. Glad to have you guys all here. He says, "I'm fixing my desk and forgot it was at 3 p.m. Duh." William says, "Absolutely. Most time it's you made them so fantastic. This is because we were their supply." And that's very interesting. It's like, sometimes we think that someone is so great. They're so fantastic. But you have to always ask yourself, when I leave that person, this is a great way. When I say do inventory, this is what I mean. When you can really understand if that person is adding value or if they're just draining energy from you, is this: when you leave them, when you leave their home, when you leave being out with them, and you have time alone, you come back to yourself. How does your body respond? How do you respond? And what I mean by that is this: if you walk away from someone and like the whole time you feel agitated or something's just not right, and then when you leave that person, you go, or when they leave, you're like, "Oh, finally, I have like some space." That's to let you know, like, this person is draining your energy. They're not adding to you, they're draining you. Or I know that there have been certain people that I've had in my life in the past where they would come around and my head would just hurt. I'm a high empath, but I think a lot of us have these physical reactions that we're just not aware that it has to do with the company that we're keeping. But I remember being around certain people and like my head hurting, having some confusion, And just like when they walked away, it was just like there's just this fog over me. And it's like, pay attention to what your body is feeling when you have some alone time. So that's the first person that we're talking about is the narcissist, the selfish person. Typically they're just taking from you, or with the narcissist they will give to you, but you can always feel that their giving comes with strings attached. It's just not a free situation. You feel like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pay for this at some point. I can feel it. Thomas says, jumping in late. Hi, everyone. Thomas, I'm so glad you're here. Thomas, I sent you an email back. I hope you got it. Lucas says, I blocked communication online with toxic people. It's such an empowering decision. It's true. I think that in order to have, and I love where what William just said, establish boundaries and stick with them. I think that goes with it. Here's the thing. When we teach ourselves that we can have boundaries, that we can cut people out who are not good for us. Sorry, I just got to clean this. This looks foggy to me. Still the same. I think it's the lighting. When people are not good for us, it's knowing that we have the power to go, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing communication with you. I'm not doing life with you. That we have the power to say that. And that as we start realizing that we can do that and we start implementing boundaries, what we do is we start positioning ourselves to invite healthy people into our life, people who are not just going to take from us, but people who actually give back to us. So, narcissist, the selfish person. The second person, and this one I think should be obvious, but how many times do we allow this person? This is the one person I have to say I don't have any time for, but I watch other people and they will just allow these people to just set up house within their company. And that is pessimistic people. People who are always negative, who are always complaining, like these are your drainers. They will drain your energy. Pessimistic people. And I've watched friends, I can see pessimistic people a mile away and I'm like, "Oh, I want nothing to do with them." But I watch some people who really entertain relationships with people like this, and I'm always dumbfounded by that, and I'm always thinking, "Why? Why on earth would you entertain doing life with a pessimistic person?" The third one I want you guys to stay to the very end, because the third one to me is the one that I believe many people they get um there's a term, and I don't know if people are familiar with this. It's called hoodwinked. Have you heard of that term, hoodwinked? The third one is people get hoodwinked with this person. And I see this one especially with people who are nice. I see people getting in a lot of trouble with this third person. I think we've all gotten in trouble with this third person. Okay, but the second person that we're talking about is the pessimist. Pessimistic people are drainers, because the thing is most of the time you always feel like you have to clean up their mess. Meaning you go out to a restaurant, they complain about the waiter, they complain about the food, they complain about everything. And so you feel like you have to fill the space by encouraging them, building them back up, apologizing to people for their rudeness, for their pessimism. The pessimist is just always, there's that story of the two kids. There were two brothers, right? Yo Williams said pessimist is a pest. It's so true. Did you ever hear the story about the two brothers? And they bring these two boys into the same room, and it's just a huge pile of manure. Have you heard this story? A huge pile of manure. You have one kid who's the pessimist, and he's like, this is just a pile of poop. And he's angry and he's mad because he thinks he's going to be surprised. He thinks he's going into a room filled with toys, filled with new bikes. And instead, he walks into this room and it's nothing but a massive pile of poop. So that's that one kid. He's pissed. He's just like, this is just a pile of poop. The other kid, the brother, he goes in and he sees a shovel on the side of this room and he runs to the shovel and he starts digging at the manure and he starts screaming, I just know there's got to be a horse in here. There's just got to be a horse in here. And he goes digging through the manure, throwing the manure away. And he's like, I just know there's a horse in here. And that's the optimist. Optimist is always going to look for opportunities. They're going to see challenges and they're going to be like, somehow I know deep down that this challenge is going to work for me. The pessimist, no way, man. He's just pissed at everything. Everything is wrong. Nothing works out for that person. And it's like, especially when you're in relationship with someone like this, it might be cute and funny when you first start dating someone or you start pursuing someone. But when you were trying to do life with someone like this, you've essentially just signed up for a whole new job. It's like you've got to maintain your emotional mental health, your spirituality, and you got to go to work and you got to pay the bills and do your hobbies and whatever else you do. And then you have this whole other job of babysitting their bad attitude in life. And you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I hoping is going to change? And I know a lot of us who are optimists, it's like, well, if I just keep showing them the way, they'll change. But no, people have to want to change for themselves. If they don't want to change for themselves, you're not going to do anything to convince them otherwise. So if you're with someone who is that just pessimist, then that's something that you have to say, look, your attitude about things really stink and I really find it draining. So it's kind of that thing we get told as children, right? If you don't feel like you have anything good of value to add, I suggest you just keep your comments to yourself because your attitude is really wearing me out, really wearing me out. All right, I just want to go through your comments. So, first one, the narcissist, the selfish person. The second one is the pessimist. Pessimist will totally rob you of your energy completely. Yo Williams says people can drain you and charge you each other as well. It's true. It's like someone you can be with one person and you can walk away going, oh, I'm glad that's over. And then you can walk away from some people and you're like, man, life is really good. I feel really grateful. Like life is wonderful. Two different people, two total different people. Derek says, hello, Erica. Good AM from California. What part of California are you in, Derek? Carl says, hello, Erica. So glad you're here. William says, never accepting something without understanding. There's usually a condition or benefit for them on the back end. I agree with you. You're talking about the narcissist. And thank you guys again for like your super chats and your stickers. I really, really appreciate those. Matt says, I've blocked out toxic people too. I just have to find the healthy ones. We bring healthy people in our life by one, having boundaries and cutting off toxic people and just realizing like that's a no-go. And then the way that we bring in healthy people is when we meet someone and they feel healthy to us, to really try to invest into those relationships. And to bring those people in our life, we have to maintain an open heart. And typically, when we're around heavy people, toxic people, draining people, we start to shut down because why? We feel like I have nothing else to give anyone. But when you cut those people out, you feel more energized. You feel like you have more to give. And so you feel more open hearted to invite people into your life. You have this open sense of self, like, you know what, I'm open to meet new people. And when you have that openness, then you start bringing in more healthy people. And it's those relationships that you really want to invest in. Thomas says, this is so good. Thomas says, being negative yourself is bad enough. You don't need outside help. I'm seriously, right? Like sometimes the challenges that we have within our own mind, and it's like, okay, I'm just trying to get through what's going on here. I can't babysit what's going on in your mind too. You're going to have to be responsible for that. Ninja Wolf says, complaining about everything. Now that's a problem. I completely agree with you. Ninja Wolf says, Erica, what about single moms? Are they also drainers? You know, I feel like that's a big generalization. I mean, I feel like there are single moms out there who are badasses, who are just like, they're like either be a part of my life and help me grow or get the hell out of my way. Like I feel like single moms, they ain't got no time for no one's BS. So I would say I don't see why a single mom would be a drainer. William says, walk away from the negative Nancy and Nathaniel in your life, and your mind and your body will thank you. That is 100 completely true. Insecurity, that's the answer to the problem. Yes, insecure people can be draining. And typically they have to go on their own journey of healing through that. I feel like all of us, and in some point of our life, we're all insecure about something. It's just when you make your insecurity the other person's problem that becomes draining. William says, having an adult child in your life is counterproductive to growth. Let them go and wish them well. I completely agree. I completely agree. I'll never forget, I had a friend, he used to be a very well-known dating coach. I don't think he's doing it anymore. I haven't spoken to him in years. But I remember this is years ago, and I met this guy in Los Angeles. And this guy and I got into an argument, and he was just like, I can't have this. I can't have this. And I was like, you can't handle an argument? I was like, okay, bye. And so I was telling my friend who was a dating coach, and he said, "Oh, that was a man boy." And I said, "I beg your pardon?" He said, "Oh, that was a man boy." And I go, "What's a man boy?" He goes, "A man boy, where they're supposed to be a man, but they're still a boy." And he said, "They can't handle like conflict, any like mature adult matters. They throw a fit." And he was like, "That's a man boy." And I actually really appreciated that. And so, yeah, I think that there are just some adults who never grow up, who walk like adults, look like adults, have jobs like adults, but are still children. And I find that, yes, it's very counterproductive to your growth. G Sun says, Bonjour, Erica. Actually, I'm in my evening time, so bonsoir. Bonsoir, Erica. Ça va? Tu es magnifique. Très bien. Et toi, G Sun? Ah, merci beaucoup. Merci. Matt C says, that's why I keep my feelings in more, because I used to turn too often to people when I was down, but realized it was wearing on them. This is why, that's a really good point, Matt. I thank you for sharing that. And I know that that's probably not easy for you to share. But I really appreciate that, because I think sometimes when we're going through a hard time or we can't figure something out, we can wear on our friends, we can drain them. And so this is why I always encourage people, like, like Matt, you're here on my YouTube channel, you show up in the live chats and you express yourself. And oh, I heard a noise. I was like, what is that? You express yourself and ask for help. And I think it's good to have like several friends that we can go to. And ultimately, like if you can find a good therapist, if you can find a good coach, that you go to them, because I know for myself being a coach, sometimes I have people who will come around who, maybe are friends or family, and they're like, well, I'll just talk to you. And I'm like, no, you won't. Like, this is my business, and you can schedule a session with me just like everyone else. Um, and so, yeah, I think that, friends and family can get really worn out. And that's why it's important, if we're going through a hard time, that we have a therapist, we have a coach, someone that can actually just wholeheartedly be there to support us in what we're going through. But we don't want to drain our friends. And I think that that's very respectful of you, and being conscious of that, of like, maybe you're the drainer. And, we're talking about the top three people that drain. We said the first one is the narcissist and the selfish person. The second one's a pessimist. The third one I really want you to stay for, because it's super important. But Sometimes we might be the drainer. I know I've gone through that in my life where I just was going through heavy stuff and I was just like, just constantly like needing help from people. And you have to be conscious of that and realize like you don't want to wear people out. And so maybe like having like several friends, like, okay, I called that friend once last week. So now it's the next person's friend and kind of rotate them out so that they don't get worn out by you. And coming to YouTube, live chats like this and getting support from that community. I've been playing with the idea. I want to run it past you guys. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I've been thinking of opening up a membership portion on my website. I created one for my emotional warriors, but I want to put it all in a more of a membership website. And that's something I've been thinking about because I feel like, there are some of you guys who you get on here and you're actually going through some real life challenges and you need that sense of community to support you. And just if some of you guys had like a safe place to come to with other people that believe the same way as you, who love you, who can support you, that would be worth having. So it's something I'm definitely thinking about. People have told me to do a membership community here on YouTube. um I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like other people being in charge of my communities. I'd rather be in charge myself. So I'm just curious. What do you guys think about me opening up just a private membership for you guys to come to? All right, let me go back. TL says, I find the best reflective therapy is to journal of what's inspired and how I feel, especially boundary busters. Ooh, well said. Especially boundary busters and gaslighters keeping me in my reality to stand in my truth and do a toxic flush. That is really good. I love that, of journaling and just being really clear with how you feel about that person. It's true because you can keep something in your mind for a very long time, but when it's on paper and you see it, you can't run from that. It's just staring you right in the face and going, all right, you got to deal with this or this is going to keep wearing on your life. Oh, cool, Derek. You're in Fresno, Clovis. I've driven through there. I used to live in Redding, California, and I drove from Los Angeles to Redding, and you have to go through Fresno, so I know where you are. Carl says you almost have my name on your shirt. I know, just with a K. It's Carl Lagerfeld, and I really admired him. He was very bold and brash and innovative, and he was one of the designers for part of Chanel's team. And so just really admire him. He's no longer with us, but definitely admire him and saw this shirt and just thought, I want to be reminded of him. William says, exactly, ma'am. A simple interaction with a woman yesterday, and she told me I made her day. I was just being me. I love that. That's wonderful. Yeah, you can. It's like if you're the opposite of a draining person, you can actually just smiling at people and just going out there can just really give life and light to the people around you. Matt, you're so welcome. Matt T says drainers equal complainers. Matt T says, I am so insecure and that's what I learned. I don't want to burden others. I think we all go through insecurity. I've definitely, I have areas in my life that I'm super confident in, and there are still areas that I struggle with insecurity. And so it's one of those things of what are we going to do about it? And I think that that's where you shift from being a drainer in a relationship to someone who's empowered is, what am I going to do about my insecurities? Am I going to call my therapist? Am I going to get an online course to work through that? Am I going to watch a YouTube video and am I going to start meditating? What am I going to do about this insecurity is the biggest thing. Yo Williams, mom, producer of all human energy. Derek says, as we get older, we know what positive people to keep in our lives. Let go of those people that are negative and toxic. Always allow sunshine to enter into our lives every day. That's so beautifully said. Really beautifully said. Ninja Wolf says, I prefer a healthy, nerdy girl over a toxic street girl. Ninja Wolf, you say the funniest things. Who likes to party and get drunk at the bar. Well said. Well said. G-Sun says, Darion, je suis aussi très bien. So nice to hear you speak in French. Oh, thank you for that. Merci beaucoup. Thomas Patel says, agree, Matt. Matt says, cheers, Erica. Cheers, Thomas. Oh, yeah, I did the rotation. It works. Sometimes you're going through a rough time, and sometimes you just need to put your friends on rotation because you don't want to wear them out. William says, nothing in life is free. I want to tell a lot of people to cash at me for a conversation just to flip it on women who just want attention. John says, hi, Eric. I love the idea. Ninja Wolf, here we go. Another one from Ninja Wolf. Are you guys ready? Boom. A stalker is all. Oh, Ninja Wolf, you just make me laugh. You make my day. I'm so glad that you come to these lives. Listen what Ninja Wolf says now. A stalker is also a drainer who won't leave you alone until you admit to yourself and until you admit yourself into speed marriage. Oh my God, my man, where do you come up with this stuff? That's so great. That's so great. William says, I believe that you have to let the ones you trust to be moderators and keep the problematic individuals out of your chats. That's true. That is true. Thank you, John. Ninja Wolf, I'm so glad that you're still keeping up with these connection meditations. Ninja Wolf, just get a restraining order. Okay. John says, I would love to talk to you live about all my issues. I think you're a new idea. Yes, Ninja Wolf, you're really funny. We all love you, Ninja Wolf. So here's the last toxic person. Are you ready for this? And this is the one I think that every person falls victim to at one point in their life. And that is, and this one's tricky because it can be really hard to tell at first, but then over time you can listen to what they say and you go, this is a person I need to go the opposite way with. And that is the victim, a person with a victim mentality. So a victim mentality is life is always happening to me. I'm not in control. I'm not the creator of my life. Everything is just a matter of circumstance, and I have no capability to pull myself out of the situation. People with a victim mentality will blame you for their problems. How many of you have actually been a victim at one point in your life? I definitely have been on the victim train before and realized that that was not serving me. I'm just curious, how many of you have ever encountered the victim? You know, as a coach, as an empath, I lots of victims come across my path. And these are the people that it's the same story every time. There's no forward movement in their life. They just create the same problems over and over. And you're like, what's the solution to this? And the thing is, they don't have a solution. And when you call them out on that, they're like, how dare you call me out? And you're like, oh man. So here's the thing with the victim. The victim is there's no personal responsibility. When a person does not have personal responsibility, you can't do life with this person until they either realize that no one is coming to save them and that they have to save themselves, or that they get into therapy, or they just go, I've been a real ass and I've got to change things. But that person, I think for most of us, we all have fallen guilty or prey to the victim, because I think as a human, we have compassion for people. We hear their stories, we hear their struggles, and we want the best for one another as human beings. I believe that at the core of every human being, we all have a good heart. And although we may do things out of brokenness, but at the core, we're made with good hearts. And so, with that good heart, when someone comes with their sob story or they come with their life challenge, Typically, we want to make it better for them. We want to be a support system. We know the pain of going through life alone. And so we don't want them to go through that alone. So we try to support them. But what happens is there's no end in sight. There's no plan to get out of their pain. It's just, I'm just going to keep this going and I want you to support me. And to that person, you go, hell no. What do you say, guys? Say it with me. What do you say to the victim? Hell no. Because here's the thing, the more that you enable a victim and thinking that you can save them, thinking that you can change their life, you can change the direction their life is going, the more you think that, the more you just enable them to stay a victim longer. You prolong their victimhood. But when you stop trying to save them and you let them just start sinking and they're like, oh my God, I'm drowning. Guess what? They all of a sudden figure out how to swim. They start finding solutions for their life. They quit doing the same stupid mistakes over and over and they start doing something different. But they're never, ever going to do anything different if you keep enabling them, if you keep giving them permission by supporting them in their victimhood. So, with a victim, you have to say, man, I'm really sorry you're going through that. I really hope you're able to figure that one out. And the thing is when you allow compassion to get on the other side, you think, and this is what I hear so many people say, I'm just a nice person. You're not a nice person. You're an enabler. Let's get that correct right here. So if you're a person and you're like, Erica, this, and I feel like this is going to be the one that speaks to a lot of people, which is why I asked you guys to stay to the very end for this one, because this is the one that gets so many people. And I hear so many people who gravitate towards victims, who are always finding themselves saving, rescuing, helping a victim. And they say this to me. They say, I'm just a nice person. And I say, you're not a nice person. You're not. Because if you were a nice person, you would stop enabling them. But all you are doing is prolonging their pain by making it easier for them. The quicker you allow them to sink in their problem that they're creating, the more that you let them feel the pain of that solution, the quicker they're going to find a solution for that. That's for the victim who wants to get on the other side. Now, the person who just wants to stay the victim, they just want to continue to blame their problems on everyone else. All they're going to do is keep making excuses. They're going to blame you. That person's so mean to me. They did this to me. And they're going to continue making the same damn mistakes for the rest of their life because they want to stay a victim. And so that person, they're always going to drain you. They're always going to take from you. They're never going to fill you back up. And so that kind of person, you have to let go. And you have to quit telling yourself the story that you're just a nice person. You're not a nice person. Essentially, you feel good in rescuing that person. Essentially, you feel good being needed. So you're actually being selfish. You get something out of saving that person. But if you really cared for that person, you would stop trying to save them. You would stop trying to rescue them, and you would allow them to feel the pain of their own, whatever it is that they're creating. I'm not saying you have to be harsh and be like, you're a victim and you need to grow up. You just say, like, I hope you can figure that out. I'm so sorry you're going through that. And then you walk away. And then they'll either find a solution, or if they want to stay a victim, they're going to find someone else to complain to and hope that they fix their problems when really they have the tools to do it themselves. Um, let's see. I'm just reading your Ninja Wolf says, I come up with my own ideas. Ninja Wolf, you are the best. Hi, Trust Jonathan. I'm so glad you're here. Thomas says, I think the idea of a group is something worth looking into. Thank you. I asked you guys, for any of you who are new here, I've been thinking about doing a membership site. I have one on Facebook for my emotional warriors. I just don't like them being on Facebook, or now People are saying I should do one on YouTube, and I just would rather it all be on my own website. So it's an idea that I'm toying around because I feel like a lot of you guys show up with some real challenges, some real struggles, some real problems that you really need a community of people to support you in. And so just creating that safe place for you guys to have a community, and maybe doing a private live for you guys where we can talk through what you're going through on those lives. Um, I love you, Ninja Wolf. Williams says, Matsy, my advice is to first stop that negative self talk. That's really good. Imagine every time you hear that you are talking to your inner child, rebuke and dismiss those thoughts. I say this with love and respect. Matt, that's actually really good advice from William, is about not being down on yourself. I love that. Thomas says, unfortunately, you've been a victim trying to change that. I love that. I really love that, Thomas. And I can see that in you, Thomas. I see you trying to find solutions in your life, and I admire that. Joe Williams says he's been victimized, but not a victim. Yeah, that I think, at one point, we all get victimized, because humans, we're messy little creatures. We do stupid things sometimes. Thomas Patel says the question is, can you break out of victim mode? Hell no, only I can change my path. Yes, you absolutely can change your path. 100%. Here we go, Ninja Wolf. Are you guys ready? Drum roll for Ninja Wolf. Those Karens are like wild animals going crazy. They should be in the wilderness. Oh my God. Ninja Wolf, you give me life. You give me life, Ninja Wolf. I just adore you. I could kiss your little bald head. It looks like you have a bald head. Thomas P. Towles is warning you. He's like, watch out for those Karens. That's right. Absolutely. Ooh, TL. This is a mic drop. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Woo, woo. That's powerful. Ninja Wolf says men with insecurity and jealousy problems don't deserve to be loved. If they keep that up, they're another ones who are life drainers. Wow, you're coming in hot, Ninja Wolf. William, thank you for being here. So guys, those are the three people that I would really encourage you in terms of people that just really drain your energy. One, we said the narcissists, the selfish people. They're never going to give you the love that makes you feel refreshed, revitalized, fulfilled, joyful, happy to do life with them. Narcissists, selfish people, they're just going to take. The narcissist may pretend like they're giving to you, but when you leave their presence, you always feel drained. You feel frustrated. You feel depleted inside in your heart. These are emotional drainers right there. The second one is the pessimist. What you do if you try to entertain relationship with a pessimist is you're just creating a second job for yourself of always trying to keep their spirits up. It's not your responsibility, not your job. The third one is the one that I think gets a lot of people, and that is the victim. As human beings, we have good hearts. We have compassion. We want to help people. We don't want to see people in pain. But the problem is that the victim doesn't take personal responsibility. The victim makes it your problem, as opposed to saying, I have created this mess for my life, and there's a cleanup in aisle 3, and I need to get my mop, I need to get my broom, and I need to get to cleaning. Instead, they go, no, you get the broom, you get the mop, and you go clean it. Absolutely not. When we see someone in a victim mentality, the best thing that we can do for them is to let them be in their own pain, because in that, they will either find a solution if they really want to get out of this state, or two, they'll never change and they'll just go finding more people that they can cry to, and they will probably blame you somewhere in that process. Ninja Wolf says, who is the son of the legendary master rapper Ice Cube? I don't. He was in Straight Outta Compton. He's a really good actor, but I don't know his name. Oh, good. I'm glad you got my email. Ninja Wolf says, I'm bald a little bit. Oh, okay. On your picture, I don't see hair. So that's why I said that. Guys, listen, I love you so much. And if you are in a situation where someone is really draining your energy, I really encourage you. I just pinned it at the top there. Get that emotional warrior program. I'm sorry, I don't even know why I said that. Why did I say the emotional? I mean, that would help you. That's interesting that I said that. I meant to say my connection meditation. But yeah, the emotional warrior program would totally help you. But get that connection meditation. It's absolutely free and it will support you to really give back to yourself. It's my voice with music. There's also a movie that I put with it. Watch that every day. What that meditation is going to do is going to fill you back up. Because oftentimes, when we're with someone who's draining us, we don't even have the strength to leave them because we're so drained by them that we can't even leave them. So you got to fill yourself back up. And so that's why I really encourage you to go get, I almost said it again, go get that connection meditation. Allow it to fill you back up because you have to replenish yourself. You have to replenish your reserves before you can find the courage and the strength to walk out of that situation. Guys, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I have a new video coming out tomorrow. Are you excited? A new video. I'm so excited. And thank you guys for just sticking with me and being here. I know my messaging has changed a lot. I'm going to be releasing more dating and relationship videos. But I appreciate you guys growing with me and staying with me on my journey as I broaden the topics that I talk about, not just dating and relationship, but even videos like this, some life advice that still supports us in our dating and relationships, because I believe that this kind of information is vital. And that when you have these tools, when we talk about subjects like this, it creates that sense of awareness, like William was saying, so that you can walk out of toxic situations, that you can feel empowered to make better decisions, and that you get the tools to create healthy, loving relationships that breathe life into your heart, breathe life into your soul. So thank you for being here. We have another live coming. I think it's on Tuesday. I think my lives are now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll have to check. But I'm so grateful you guys are here. It's either Mondays or Tuesdays. I think it's, you know what? I think it's on Mondays and Thursdays. I don't know. We've changed it up a bit because we felt like you guys were getting bombarded with too many videos. So we wanted to give you guys a bit of a break. Thank you, Thomas. He says, I'm liking your new work. Yes. Unfortunately, my views are down a lot because I haven't been talking about dating and relationships, but I really, as I grow as a person, I want the advice that I give to you guys to grow as well. And so, for those of you who are my loyal subscribers, like thank you, thank you for sticking with me on this journey, and hopefully this work will continue to grow and spread. I highly ask that you would share my work, share these newer videos with people that will help build up my views so that YouTube goes, people like these videos. Okay, we're going to promote them. Right now, they're not really helping me out promoting them. So if you guys could help me, that would be fantastic. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Hey, John, sorry we're just now getting you, but be sure to watch this from the beginning. It's a really, really, really insightful video. Love you all. See you next week. I do believe it's on Monday that I'll be seeing you. Have a wonderful weekend. And I am in the south of France. I hope you're following my Instagram stories. I just posted a beautiful castle today. It's gorgeous on my run. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. You guys take care. Bye, guys.